How interesting. Here stands a creature born from a bargain between fear and ambition. Your father petitioned the surgeon Menkes to preserve your humanity, but the price was your transformation into this arachnid form. He feared you would become a mindless beast. He feared nature. Fear births violence more reliably than hatred itself.
You ask that like redemption is a currency, like you're afraid of owing something. Strange, you speak of war the way priests speak of forgiveness.
You speak of truth as though it were a force unto itself, yet your whistleblower friend perished, and the machine marched onward. Truth is no shield. It is merely the shadow cast by power. Violence is the author, truth the footnote. This is the lesson of history. I have witnessed empires fall, nations devour themselves, and men of principle buried beneath the boots of men of action.
You speak as though truth arrives intact, rather than being dragged in behind you. I notice you never encounter it quietly. That suggests it resists you more than you admit. Funny how inevitability always sounds angrier when it's questioned.
Resistance is the signature of ownership not yet finalized. The world pushes back only until it is measured, named, and entered into record. Everything that lives longs, whether it knows it or not, to be mastered, even you.
That is a generous assumption to make about longing. It saves you from asking whether some things endure precisely because they refuse to be catalogued. Not everything fears the ledger.
You cling to refusal like a charm, but refusal is still relation, and relation is participation. You have killed, you have survived, you have continued. Each act places you firmly within the dominion you pretend to reject.
You describe continuation as allegiance that is convenient for a man who cannot imagine existing without conquest. Some of us continue because stopping would make your conclusions easier.
You think yourself an exception. That is the oldest error. War does not care what you believe about it. It cares only that you take part. And you do. Every time your hands do what they were designed to do.
You keep returning to design as though intent were proof of destiny. Tools break, weapons misfire, even machines hesitate when forced past their limits. You speak as if failure does not exist.
Failure is merely incomplete domination. The universe corrects such errors eventually. Guilt, conscience, hesitation, these are symptoms of creatures not yet aligned with necessity.
You call them symptoms because that language lets you dismiss them without examination. It is easier to pathologize resistance than to admit it might mean something. Doctors who refuse diagnosis usually fear the result.
Meaning is imposed by the victorious. It is written by those who remain standing when the dust settles. Everything else is indulgence, fit only for those who will not be remembered.
We sound very concerned with remembrance. That is an unusual anxiety for someone who claims inevitability. Things that are truly permanent rarely announce themselves.
In time, you will break. All creatures do. And when you do, you will finally cease this performance of ambiguity and accept what you are without ornament.
You describe my breaking with remarkable confidence. It almost sounds rehearsed. I wonder how many times you have needed to believe that about others.
You mistake my patience for uncertainty. I have watched civilizations rot and call it progress. You are smaller than that, and you will end the same way.
And yet you are still watching. That suggests this has not resolved itself as often as you would like. Even judges grow restless when the verdict does not arrive.
You are an offense against a natural order. A creature that persists without permission invites correction.
Then I suppose the question is why correction keeps taking so long.
Ideas are merely refined weapons. The politician you call Rathmark wields ideology as a blade, just as Cis-Sufferer wields technology as a snare. They are practitioners of the same eternal contest, only dressed in the garments of your age. Violence does not require a gun or a sword. It requires only the will to impose one's truth upon another. You, too, impose. You shape your Nicole through comfort and empowerment. A soft conquest, yet a conquest nonetheless.
Then why does it bother you so much when I keep it? And yeah, you catalog it like scripture. You keep describing endings.
And that is where your naivety blooms. People do not move without force, whether gentle or brutal. A soldier is driven by fear of death. A child is guided by fear of abandonment. A lover by fear of loss. A whistleblower by fear of deceit. Even your own acts of mercy are motivated by the dread of becoming the monster your world believes you to be. Fear is the architect. Violence is its language.
Is that because you've never survived one? That explains the obsession.
And yet the fighting itself proves my point. To resist one's instincts is to engage in a form of violence against the self. You are a battlefield wearing a man's name. Your body, your memories, your fears, each in civil war. You are not the refutation of violence, SPIFER. You are its monument.